First time kneeling, out for the game. The second time out for the season with no pain.
Okay, well, while we're on the topic of punishment, what's the fine for siding with a foreign agent over your fellow Americans?
He just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
This weekend, the NFL was back in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons again, as the discussion around player protests of, say it with me, police brutality was the topic of Trump's tweets and an outrageous decision by the Dolphins. First, Donnie decided to use his platform as president again to suggest players be banned for an entire season if they dare care about the unjust treatment of black people in the country. And this clearly rang true with the Dolphins, as the Associated Press reported that they were considering a policy to ban players for 4 games if they decided to protest. 4 games for protesting police brutality. Meanwhile, here's a reminder, Ray Rice was given an initial 2-game ban for punching his partner. Meanwhile, here's another reminder, from 2002 to 2015, NFL suspended 15 players over violence towards women with an average of 1.5 game suspensions. The longest suspension was that of 3 games. Proving yet again that the NFL, I guess, thinks that protesting the unlawful treatment of black people in America is worse than physically assaulting your wife. Not to forget that they will open their arms gracefully and welcome back players who have committed domestic acts of violence and dogfighting and sexual abuse and drug abuse, but draw the line at peaceful protest. That sounds normal. However, not all NFL owners were looking at such measures to punish their players. Giants owner Steve Tisch pushed back, stating, "We support our players, they are not going to be punished." And as a result of this back and forth, what happened? The NFL decided to freeze its anthem policy until they and the Players Association discussed the matter further. Something you would have thought they already would have considered doing before proposing such outrageous policies. But then again, they're the same organization who have effectively banned Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reid for their stance. So that leaves the NFL between a rock and a hard place, and that is exactly where they deserve to be. They created this mess on their own by mishandling this issue from the very beginning and allowing an egotistical fruitcake to sabotage this conversation. The fact that they had these conversations on how to address the issue without involving Colin Kaepernick himself just shows how detached they are from the issue itself. But their attitude towards the protests is representative of a large part of the country, who are still so easily manipulated into believing the protest was of the anthem or the flag, with countless headlines still playing into the hands of that false narrative. It has and will continue to be a means to shed light on injustice. An issue that this organization deems so problematic that they simply are in turmoil trying to address, ultimately deeming the protest to say, hey, Black Lives Matter, as worse than physically assaulting your wife.